But listen, in this pandemic, I have made more money since March to now than I've made in the last 3 years.
Wow.
And I made good money in the last 3 years. I don't want people to think I was broke. Like, I'm starting low.
Yeah, add that caveat. Yeah,
like, I just have to let you know, no, man was making dough before, but I've made more in this pandemic.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new around here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Tolu, and on this channel I share content all around personal finance, budgeting, frugal living, and I show you how to live your best life on a budget. In today's video, guys, I'm so excited to be bringing you the final episode of my Instagram live series, T Money Talks. So this is episode number 12 of the series, so you're not going to see any more of these T Money Talk videos on my channel after this video. For episode number 12, I was joined by the amazing Emmanuel Asuquo. He's also known online as the Eman effect, and boy is he having an effect in the personal finance community. He's an amazing financial advisor, and he's definitely been a huge inspiration to myself on my financial journey. And in terms of me sharing personal finance content online, he's definitely given me so much advice, he's given me so much inspiration, and I've learned a ton from him. In today's video, guys, listen, when I tell you you're in for a treat, you are in for a treat. The way he was sharing nuggets upon nuggets in this live was absolutely incredible. So like I say every single week, grab yourself a pen and paper, grab yourself a hot drink and some snacks, and get prepared, because listen, this episode is epic. You're going to get so much from it. I learned so much from that conversation. I took away so many notes, so many gems that I'm going to apply in my finances. So definitely stay tuned, because you're going to take away so much from this episode. If you enjoy these personal finance videos and you've been enjoying this series of T Money Talks, then do me a favor and give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. Share this video with a friend, a family member, somebody that wants to win with their money in 2021. Definitely share this video with them, because it's definitely going to be so helpful to them, because in this video we talk all about how to boss up, how to level up financially in the new year, and overcome some of those excuses that keep us back and stop us from achieving our financial goals, and stop us from really having the financial breakthrough that we know that we want and that we deserve. This video is really going to help you in order to overcome that. So definitely stay tuned. And with all that being said, guys, here's episode number 12, the final episode. Like literally, this is it. Season 1 is done and dusted. And so without further ado, guys, I'm going to bring you the final episode from my first series of T Money Talks. It's been an amazing series. I've enjoyed every single week, every episode, every guest has just been phenomenal. And I'm just so happy that this is the icing on the cake. Stay tuned and watch episode number 12 of T Money Talks with the Eman effect. Live. Good evening everybody, and welcome to episode number 12, the final episode of series 1 of my Instagram live series T Money Talks. I'm your host Tolu, aka T Money, and on this weekly live series what we've been doing for the past 11 weeks is having real open conversations about money. So every single week I've been joined by an amazing guest to talk about one money topic or another, and today's definitely no different. I have an amazing guest lined up for you guys, so stay tuned. I'm going to invite him on in just a moment. But before I bring on a guest, I've got a couple of special announcements which I wanted to make to you guys. So the first announcement that I have to make is that I've officially launched my 2021 budget planner. So this is something that I've had in the pipeline for a while, and obviously as we're swiftly approaching 2021, now's the time to really look at our finances, look at how we're budgeting our money, look at how we're managing our money, and really start putting things in place so that in the new year we're thriving when it comes to our finances. So the 2021 budget planner is available for purchase via the link in my bio, so definitely download a copy of that from that link. And then also, if you want a printed version of it, let me know, because that is something that I definitely want to look at launching also. So that was the first announcement I had for you guys. Thank you so much everyone that's joined so far. I can see you all joining, but I just wanted to get these announcements out of the way so I can get my special guest on. But the second announcement I had is that I'm officially launching my one-on-one coaching services. So coaching is something that I've been doing informally for like the past year now, helping you guys with your budgets, helping you with your debt, answering all the questions that you guys have had in terms of how to manage your money, how I was able to overcome my debt, how I budget, how I plan my money, and things like that. So that kind of conversations I've been having in the DMs with you guys over the past year. But now it's really time to take it to the next level and offer that as a paid service. So if that's something that you would be interested in, then definitely book yourself in for a discovery call via the link in my bio. So those are my announcements I have for you guys. But without further ado, before I bring on my next guest, or let me give a pre-introduction before I bring on my special guest. You can tell I'm so excited because, yeah, you lot are in for a treat because it's going to be an epic live. But before I bring him on, I need to give him an introduction. So you guys know him as Emmanuel Asuquo. He's also known online as the Eman effect. And I think the Eman effect is such a fitting name because the effect that he's been having in the personal finance space online over the past few years has just been amazing. Like seeing his story, seeing his journey, seeing the impact that he's had on so many people. It's just amazing to see. And he just is he's a gift that keeps giving, like literally. He's a financial advisor, been a financial advisor for the past 15 years. He's given financial talks all across the UK to over 30,000 people. He was literally like a few days ago on BBC One in the morning on the breakfast time, and he was giving financial advice there. He's been on every channel you can think of and been in every newspaper you can think of, the Times, the Sun, the Daily Mail, like literally. He's epic and he's amazing in the game. He really knows his stuff when it comes to personal finances. So definitely guys, if you haven't got your pen and paper ready, now's the time to quickly go and grab it before I bring him on the live, because it's going to be one of those ones where you need to take notes because there's so much knowledge that's going to be dropped in this live. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on my amazing guest, Emmanuel Asuquo, for this conversation all about, I haven't even told you the topic of this conversation. So we're going to be talking about how to win with money in 2021. I think that's the perfect conversation to end the season on, given that we are swiftly approaching the end of the year. 2021 is like literally a few weeks away now. So now's the time to really start planning how we're going to manage our money in the new year. And yeah, really just set ourselves in good footing as we come towards the end of the year. But with that being said, guys, I'll stop my rambling and I will bring on my special guest. And like I say every week, guys, if you have any comments, any questions, leave them in the comment section. It's definitely an interactive session, so leave them in the comment section below.
Yo.
Hello.
You okay, sis?
Yes, I need to breathe now. I need to breathe. I've got you on the live now, so I can calm down.
I'm here. How are you?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. I can't complain. Life is good, man. Life is good.
Sweet, it is. Sweet, man. No, it's good. It's amazing. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the live. So excited to have you on here, like literally. So excited to get into it. But before we get into it, like at the beginning, before we start the whole conversation, it'll be good for you to tell the one or two people that don't know who you are a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Emmanuel Asuquo. I'm a financial advisor, like qualified financial advisor, regulated. I can really give advice and so forth. I've been for over 13 years. And basically, I used to give advice to high net worth people and decided that, you know what, I'm going to pack it in. It's just not my vibe. It's not what I love to do. I want to help people and give this advice to people who nobody cares about, really, who are people who mainly from disadvantaged backgrounds, people who don't have much money. And so I quit my job and started my platform. And here we are today, you know, reaping the benefits. Yeah, no, you're killing it. Thank you. Okay, so what I like to do at the beginning of the live, before getting into the meat of the conversation, is a quick fire, would you rather? So it's a little game I like to play. So I give you two options, and then you pick which one of the two that you would rather do, kind of thing. And you guys watching at home can also play along, pick A or B for the questions that I ask. So the first question, what would you rather have, more time or more money? More time.
More time. Okay, that was an easy one. Okay, cool. And next one, would you rather get rich through hard work or through winning the lottery?
Winning the lottery. I don't understand.
Oh, really? I thought you was actually going to say the first one.
Like, why work hard if you can make the same money for like in an instance?
No, that's funny. Yeah, no, different people have given me different responses, so that's interesting. Okay, the next one, which type of holiday do you prefer? City breaks or beach holidays?
Yeah, city breaks, because I don't really go on holiday. I'm in my house. so city break is like being at home. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Next one, would you rather live your life financially comfortable, so like live the rest of your life financially comfortable, or live like a millionaire for 20 years and then be poor the rest of your life?
It's a hard one, you know. I know people think, oh, be comfortable. But what does comfortable mean? I guess if comfortable means, I guess, at a kind of standard level, I guess there's that. But then I guess once you know better, once you know there's a better life, the living rest of it knowing what used to be would probably be devastating. So yeah, I'll probably go with just the mediocre.
Yeah, fair enough. No, yeah, I think I'd go with that too. That's the worst, when you've had it and then you lose it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right, cool. The next one is audio books or physical books. Which one do you prefer?
All day long. I'm an audio guy, man. I'm listening to 50 Cent right now.
Really?
50 Cent, trust me, he's talking some sense in that thing.
No, my husband read that book recently. He was saying it's actually amazing. Yeah, I was like, really? I wouldn't think so. But he said like that.
It's completely different from what I expect. But yeah, 50 Cent, he's talking a lot of stuff in that. We need that. You need that. A lot of us need to hear what he's talking about. Trust me.
Okay, maybe I'll check it out then. Yeah, no, you can say it's really good. So I'll definitely add that to my reading list. There's so many in my backlog to get through. Okay, last question. Would you rather have £1 million today? So I'm like, here you go, here's a suitcase with £1 million in it, or £5,000 a day for the rest of your life?
5,000 a day for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Is this a trick question? The 5,000, right?
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Is this fake? Is this real? Would
Yeah.
someone really take $1 million at once over 5,000?
Yeah.
What? There's 365 days. I don't know if I can count the maths, but I'm sure, like, no, definitely, like, you ain't getting the interest. The $1 million is gonna be depleted, right? By the time you buy this or buy that, 5,000 a day, I'm getting a deposit at house a week.
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that, because I'm just seeing $1 million, all those zeros after that one straight away in my pocket.
Nah, that $1 million is fake. Trust me, I've seen it. Like, obviously, I worked in a bank. Like, $1 million it seems like it's such a big number, but when you actually work it out, it's not that much. 5,000 a day, you could, like I said, if you could manage on 5,000 a month, that means that for all the other days, that first week, you got 6 5s, 30K. That's a house. The next week, do you understand? You got 35. You'd spend the first year just buying yards for the first year, and then that $1 million that I would have had, the income I had to live for, I'm now getting. Plus, I'm still getting 5,000. Now I'm enjoying. Now that's spending money. No,
that's true. When you put it like that, when you break it down, yeah, makes sense. I like your logic. All right, cool. So moving on to the meat of the conversation, and the main topic that I really wanted to really talk about today was basically how we can level up financially and prepare ourselves and our finances moving into 2021. So what I wanted to do first section of the questions is just to really talk about some of the excuses and some of the things that may limit our ability to kind of prepare ourselves mentally for the new year, like some of the thoughts that we have and beliefs that we may have that prohibit us from moving forward financially. I wanted to put some of them to you and see what you think about them, and then we can take it from there. So I'm going to go through these excuses and then see what you have to say or what your thoughts are on these excuses.
No problem.
Okay, so one excuse is, but Emmanuel, I only live once.
Yes, it's true. This is why you got to be right with your money. This is the thing. I always say people miss that YOLO thing. They misinterpret it. So people interpret YOLO as I only live once, therefore I need to do everything today. All right? But actually what it's saying is you only live once, so you need to make the most of the life that you're going to live. And in order to do that, you can't focus on the one day. You need to plan for your life. And this is why so many people fail, because they don't plan for their retirement. Today I did a post about pensions, because so many people don't think about retirement, but yet every day we're closer to it. So for me, you only live once, yes. So make the most of it.
Okay. That's a good answer. You got claps there from bricks to pounds. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the next one, actually, which you kind of touched on, is retirement is so far away, and I'm only 21.
Is it me? It's breaking up. Is it my reception?
Oh, I was thinking, you just paused. I was thinking, did you not hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So the next one is, but Emmanuel, retirement is so far away, and I'm only 21.
Yes. Compound interest. All right. So the earlier you invest, the better it is for you over the longer term. And also remember property as well. I'm not here just to talk about property, but remember, when it comes to property, the earlier you start in property, the better as well.
Yes.
So for me, it's really important that we look at, yes, you're 21, but where do you want to be? Where are you going? Because the problem is if you don't have a plan for what you're going to do at 30, 40, you'll be only 30 and still being like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then 50, and then 60, and then, wow, where did my life go? So it's really important that we work out what we're doing, where we're going, and we have a plan for that.
Okay, that's a good answer. Okay, so the next one is, by Emmanuel, I need a new car.
Chase, you may need a new car, but make it make sense. So if you need a new car, does that have to be a Jaguar? Does that have to be a Mercedes? Does that have to be a Lamborghini? Yes, you may need a new car, but does it make it? It has to make it make sense. And also, what's the price difference if you took your current car and repaired it and made that last longer? Would that mean that you wouldn't have to get finance, so you'd have more on a monthly basis to save towards whatever you're trying to build? So I think you have to do the numbers.
Okay, so I can't get my new car.
No, you can get it if it makes sense. If it makes sense.
No, I hear that. You've got to make it make sense. No, appreciate that. Okay, the next one. This is an excuse that I made a lot myself, to be fair, over the years, and it's still an ongoing thing. And it's, I work too hard for my money. I work so hard for my money.
Yes, this is the thing. You work hard for your money, so make your money work hard for you. The problem is that we work hard for our money, but we're so quick to let it go. You work hard for your money, so how come you got paid on the 1st, but you're broke by the 5th? If you worked hard for it, what do you keep it? If I worked hard for something and I valued it and it was important to me, wouldn't I try to keep most of it to myself? Because I worked hard for it. But we work hard for our money, and then the second we get paid, we give it to all these strangers that we don't know and help them live their life.
No, it's true. It's a very, very good point. That's actually a good way of looking at it, because you just think, I work hard for my money, so let me treat myself. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, no, you're actually doing yourself more harm than good by having that approach. So yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so the next one. Okay, so this is another excuse that people make, is that my debt is too big, so I'm in too much debt and I'll never be able to get out of it. So what's the point?
Number one, it wasn't too big for you to get in it. Just look around you. Look at your wardrobe. Look at your shoes. Go on Instagram. Look at the holidays you've been taking. Okay? Look out the window. See the car finance that you're paying. Okay, go to your kitchen. Look at the microwave and the oven that is on purchase. Go into your living room. See the couch. Go and watch the television that is on finance. So all of a sudden, you have to understand we've enjoyed. You've enjoyed, okay? So now it's time to pay. You've enjoyed. All right, number one. Number two, if it is too much, then you need to speak to companies like Step Change and Cap and see what they can do and how you can be helped. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of the time, we have a lazy mentality that, I don't have to pay this back. I can just go bankrupt, or I can get an IVA, or do you know what I mean? It's only 6 years. And so that's the mentality we have. And the problem is that mentality seeps into work. I don't need to work this hard. I've been here a long time. They'll eventually give me a promotion. I don't need to go and do this business idea. Eventually it'll work out as long as I keep it for a long period of time. One day that mentality is gonna mess up your whole life. The way we look at money is a lot of the time the way we look at life. We're easy come, easy go. You see, when you get that loan, you go online, you apply, they give you the money to your bank account, you spend it. Easy come, easy go. You see life, the things that you really want, the things that you really appreciate in life, they don't come too easy. And a lot of the time when you work hard for it, you appreciate it. That's why I always tell people, if you really want to understand money, start a business. Start a business and you will look at money completely different. Because the day that you have to, with your own hands and your own mind, have to create income and create money, all of a sudden you understand that that person that's giving you a job has done really well. Because they've been able to be successful enough to be able to afford to pay you.
No, that's very, very, very true. You hit the nail on the head with that. It's easier said than done, but no, it's very, very true. It's very true. It can be done, but I guess it's a mindset shift. It's a case of really just, committing to it, because it's easy to get into debt, like you said before. So with me, I remember when I had my credit cards and my loans and things like that, the way I was swiping that credit card like it was going out of fashion. And I bought things that I would never buy with my own money.
Never.
But
You wouldn't even think. People are all of a sudden they're going to Dubai. You would never, ever think of doing this on your own money. But now that you've got this loan, or you've got this overdraft, or you've got this...
I was living my best life, yeah. But then paid it back.
What are you doing spending that money on sexy fish? You don't even like fish. These things are allergic. You're just in here taking pictures.
Exactly. It's easy to get into it, but it's not so easy to get out of it. But I guess, you just need to commit to it, and it can be done, 100%. Take a bit of sacrifice, but it's definitely doable. Okay, so the next one, I live in London and it's too expensive.
Come on, I love this one. You see, this whole live in London, I feel like people have got to a point where we feel like we have this London privilege. I live in London, and so because I live in London, I should have the right to buy in London. Listen to me. If you want to buy in London, no problem, go ahead. But what are you doing to get the income to afford to buy in London? Do you understand? Like for me, people, I don't mind your dreams. You can tell me, listen, I want to live on the moon. I'll be like, yo, let's do this. I got you. But what are you doing in order to be able to get to the moon? You understand? So you live in London and your parents have got a house. Luckily, they got it when it was only like 50K or whatever. So now you can have the privilege of living in it, or it's a council flat, whatever it may be. Now you believe that because you live in London, you have a God-given right that you must inherit a house in London. All you need is a slap and to wake up, because it doesn't work like that. Wake up. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing in the evenings? You're watching EastEnders, and then you're talking about, I want to buy a house in London. What are you doing on the weekend? And you're talking about, I want to buy a house in London. Listen, you're going to buy a house in Gravesend. That is your work ethic. Your work ethic is Gravesend. You're going to Gravesend. That's what your budget can afford. I don't understand why you're talking about London. You're on 25K. You can't even buy a garage, a parking spot in London. Okay? Up your dough. Do you know what I mean? And so it's one of the ones where we have to have the honest conversation. What does my pocket say? My pocket says, I'm going to Gravesend. My pocket says Essex. My pocket says...
Even Essex is good, boy. It might be up north, yeah.
Up north. You understand? That's what your pocket is. And until you decide to change your pocket, until you decide, for me, when people tell me no, that's my motivation to say, okay, you can tell me no this time. That's my fault. Next time I see you, you can't tell me no, because I'm going to change my situation. Do you understand? But a lot of us, we get the no, and we still want to believe and dream and write stuff on our vision board with no work ethic. Take it down, and wake up. Drink some water and wake up, okay? And so some of us, we're still dreaming. You're big in your 30s. You still have the same dreams when you're in uni. Chill out, all right? It's time to wake up, and it's time to get active, get stuff happening. So there's no, I live in London, so I must buy in London. You will buy where you can afford, okay?
Thank you. Thanks for that reality check.
No problem.
So basically, you can live in London, but it's going to require some work. You can't just, it's not a God-given right because you grew up in London, that you're going to stay in London. You're going to have to put in extra work.
And also, you have to put that money. Like, you have to think, some of these places, like, you want to pay $500,000 on a flat in Hackney. Are you crazy? What kind of life is that? Like, it's not for me. Like, for me, I would rather come out and get a house, like, buy a house, have a garden, have some, do you understand? Like, sometimes, just because you can afford something doesn't mean you can buy it.
Preach. Yeah.
So I meet people all the time. Like, people will be boasting out, like, oh yeah, I just got my new house, 700K. Listen, when they come to me, their voice is so much lower. Yo, bro, I can't believe I spent. Like, listen, because I know you're struggling. Because I see
the energy's different.
I see your outgoings. This thing is wild. You are going to be paying this house. Like, you know, some people get mortgages for 25 years. Like, most of the time now, it's 30 years. 35 years. And because you've overstretched yourself, you will never buy another house. You are going to spend the next 30 years buying this one house. And every month you're going to get paid, and 60% of your income is gone. Is that how you want to live?
No.
That's not me. I would rather buy something at 400 and be able to save. I'd rather buy something at 350 and be able to save and be able to build and buy my next one and understand the life that I want to live. But a lot of us, we're so on show. We want to show. Listen, be honest. More time, your friends don't even want to come around your house. You do about 2 dinner parties a year. So who have you really bought this house for? All this money on a house, all this nice fine dinner plate, crockery, candles, twice a year. Like twice a year. You're going to mum's for Christmas. You're going to mum's for Christmas because no one in the house knows how to cook that thing properly. Like, so I don't understand what all this fuss is about. Nobody's seeing your house.
No. No. Very good, very good. Moving on to the next point. Gosh, yes. You're really turning up the heat on this one. Okay, so the next one is, okay, my boss refuses to give me a pay rise. So that's why I can't get ahead.
Come on. I love this. I love this. Again, the first thing you got to do is slap yourself, okay? Because, listen, I always tell people, your pay rise, you have to remember, somebody can afford to pay you. I don't think we understand how this employment thing works. Somebody has had an idea or created a business that is doing well enough that they can afford to pay you to do the job for them. And now you've woken up and all of a sudden you feel that you can just get a pay rise. So number one is, what are you doing? I always talk about, go get a job description of the job that wants to pay you the money that you want, that you deserve. And look at it. Look at the job description. How many things in the job description can you tick and say you have that experience, you have that qualification, you understand how to work in these situations? But if you've got that, then go and apply for that job somewhere else. And listen, if you're really good at what you do, when you tell your boss you're thinking to go somewhere else, they'll come and tell you, listen, I'm gonna slap 10 bags on that. Do you know what I mean? If they don't do that, listen, you are fooling yourself. You thought that he was doing the damn thing. They couldn't wait for you to leave. They threw you a party. You said you were leaving, and they said drinks on the house. So sometimes we have to have that reality check and understand that what we think and what the person that's paying us think is different. Because if you're valuable and it's time, they will pay you the money that you deserve. Because they know how much it's going to cost to replace you. You haven't made yourself valuable enough for them to pay you. That's why they're doing emails to the whole office saying, we're going to the pub, this person's leaving. Listen, you wasn't valuable enough, my G. Do you understand? They know that they can get another one of you and at a cheaper price. So on your way.
Oh dear. So work on adding value to yourself if you want to get that pay rise. And
if you want to know how to add value to yourself, go find the job description of the job that pays you the money that you want, and make sure that when you read that, you can tick everything and say you've got that.
It's very good advice. Okay, the next one. It's impossible to get ahead because the system is against me, Emmanuel.
Facts. That is facts. The system is against you. It's facts, but impossible means nothing. Like you said, I was on BBC last week, Monday. Last week, Monday. BBC giving financial advice to millions of people. I don't know if you see what color I am. I don't know. I don't know if the light in me. I don't know. Like, I'm telling you, I'm from a council estate. I've got 4 GCSEs. But I'm giving financial advice to the whole nation. Hello?
Wow.
Impossible is only what you create for yourself. You see, for me, I understood that everything I wanted to achieve was in my grasp. In my grasp. As long as I put in the work, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know when. I didn't know how big, but I knew it was going to happen. And for a lot of us, we don't know it's going to happen. You understand? A lot of us were doing things and we're not doing it with our chests. We're not confident. Do you understand? I was confident I was going to bust. So confident that I left my comfortable paying job, company car, company credit card. I left it to pursue this. And they laughed at me. And now they're like, oh, Eman, when are you going to come to visit? It's so great. Both of them want to add me on LinkedIn. It's all right. I'll still accept you because I want you to see me win. So we can connect. We can be friends. It's all right. I hold no enemies because at the same time, I believe in my source. I believe in myself and I believe the God I serve. So for me, it doesn't matter what anyone has to say about whether I can and I can't. You understand? Some will say you're not good looking enough, or you're black, or you're fat. I'm all three, and I'm still on TV. Hello?
Come on.
So it's one of them things where one of these days you're gonna realize that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only thing that's limiting you is you.
It's very good. So don't worry about the system, guys. That's against you. Worry about the system within.
You see, and I told them I've made it to a point now where the system has to use me because I benefit the system. Do you understand? So now them working with me is a benefit to themselves. So guess what? When you're a benefit to the system, guess what? The system will use you.
Yes.
You understand? But right now we're saying the system's holding you down because they don't rate you. You haven't done nothing for them to even want to give you a chance. But you see me, I work on myself, I add value to myself, I build myself, I put myself out there. I failed 150, 200 times. Some of us are afraid we fail once and we give up. Some of us are afraid to fail, so we won't even try. I failed so many times, I had to be successful.
Come on. Come on. Yes. See all the love parts. Okay, next one. Number 9, so we're getting there, 2 more. Every time I get a little bit ahead, so I'm trying, I'm moving forward, I'm getting a little ahead, but then something always comes up.
Yeah, you know what? That's planning. And what does it say? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. For a lot of us, we ain't got a plan. We just wake up. I always tell people, every day, I've got to accomplish something. I've got to accomplish something. I've got to achieve something every single day. I set myself targets every day. And this is why I'm all about being on time and trying to be early, because I understand that when I wake up early, I'm going into my day. My alarm clock is not waking me and I'm rushing in the shower, jumping. No, I'm going in at my pace, at my time. And so for me, I plan myself and I make sure that I'm going to achieve something. I give myself a target and I achieve it. And if I can, I overachieve myself. Listen, my biggest competition is me. That's why I can't. That's why when people, my wife sometimes tell me, Eman, you're so nice. You want to give everyone your time. You want to, and I'm like, I understand, babe. You know, all she really wants is my time. That's what she's just jealous. She just wants me to spend some time with her. You understand? And I don't blame her. She married me. She deserves the time. But for me, I'm ready to help anyone because my biggest competition cannot be anyone. See, we could do the exact same job, and I could, and you could ask me a question. I'm gonna give you the answer. You could never be my competition. Do you understand? Because I compete with myself on a daily basis. My standard is not set by anybody else around me other than myself. I set myself standards, I analyze myself, and I push myself. And then I've got other people around me. Some of us are too reliant. I don't mind, get a mentor, get a coach. But listen, that motivation you need to find that in yourself. You understand? Your coach is gonna tell you certain things. They're gonna motivate you. They're gonna show you a certain way. But if you ain't got it inside, don't put that responsibility on somebody else. You're wasting somebody else's talent and time.
Come on.
Go find a coach when you know you've got the self-motivation to put in action what they're about to tell you.
Come on. Yes. Very, very, very true. Oh my gosh. The next one. Last one, number 10. But Emmanuel, there's a pandemic.
Amen. Listen. There's a pandemic, and I lost an aunt, and it was heartbreaking, and it's been hard for all of us. You've probably all seen all the things that's happened, and it's been a scary time to go outside. But listen, in this pandemic, I have made more money since March to now than I've made in the last 3 years.
Wow. And
I made good money in the last 3 years. I don't want people to think I was broke. Like, I'm starting low.
Yeah, add that caveat. Yeah,
like, I just have to let you know, no, man was making dough before, but I've made more in this pandemic. Why? Because I was working before. And this is the problem. For a lot of us, we're not putting in the work. You see, for me, I've been putting in this work when nobody was ready to pay, man. When nobody was ready for what I was doing, I've been doing it. I've been out there. I've been proving the concept. And so, pandemic hits. Everybody's now thinking about their money. Also, Black Lives Matter happens. Everyone's thinking about black people. Ooh, money and black person. Hey, who do we know that talks about money and is black? Oh,
yes.
When I told you I was prepared. I knew I was going to be successful. I didn't know when it was going to come. I didn't know how it was going to come. But I wasn't going to wait for me to see it before I started. I'm going. I'm putting the work in. And then when the opportunity comes, who else can do it other than me? I've been doing it when nobody was doing it. I've been here when everybody was out here, you know, trying to make money on doing jokes and all of that stuff. I'm here trying to help the people when nobody wanted to hear it. So guess what? When they want to hear it, who are they going to go to? And so this is the difference. For a lot of us, we're not putting in the work in the gym. We always talk about, in basketball, we used to talk about shooting in the gym. They weren't with you shooting in the gym. A lot of the time, we want to be on the court. We want to be doing the slam dunks. We want the adulation, but we don't want to put in the training and the work and the practice that it takes when nobody's looking. And I was doing the practice, so now that's why I'm benefiting.
Come on. Yeah, it's very, very good. So yeah, it's all about preparation. You were prepared for the opportunity. So when opportunity met preparation, magic happens. And absolutely amazing. So don't let the pandemic stop you guys. Yes, it is obviously a horrible time. And yeah, I'm not making light of it, but at the same time, it's like, don't use that as an excuse to not do what you need to do or do the best you can do kind of thing. Okay. So now that we've addressed all the excuses, some of many, I'm sure there's many more that we could probably think of, excuses that we make as to why we're not winning with our money and why we can't get our money working for us. But thank you for addressing some of the ones that came to mind when I was preparing for this call. But now we've addressed some of these excuses. Hopefully we've got our mind a bit more fine-tuned and we're like, okay, yes, I can do this, I can do this. So moving forward, what would you suggest and what's the solution? How can we actually start to win with our finances in preparation for the new year?
I think, like I always tell people, money is about mindset less than it is about the action. All right? And so for me, we got to work on our mindset. We got to work on everything I've just talked about is all to do with mindset. It's all to do with how we perceive, how we think, and what we're trying to do. And what I want you to understand is that the way you're spending your money is the reaction to the mindset that you have towards it. Okay? So the reason that money comes and money goes is because in your mind, you don't respect the value of money. And that may be because that's how you were taught, or it may be that actually you haven't learned to respect the money that you've got. Okay? So the first port of call is for you to understand the value of money. And a lot of the time we don't understand the value. And contactless ain't helping. Online spending ain't helping because we're losing in touch with the real actual essence of money in itself. But what we need to do is really understand, okay, what is the value of money? What can this money do for me? How can this money help me in my situation? And so when you understand what money can do for you and how money is a tool, you see, too many of us look at money as an exchange, okay? A transaction, and that's why we are consumers. But when you start to look at money as a tool, as if I don't spend this money, I can now invest this money. I can now use this money to create money, more money for myself. And so the first place is the mindset. Then it's about understanding your why. Why? Because a lot of it requires denial. Okay? A lot of it, if you want to build wealth, a lot of it requires denial. And a lot of us don't have a why big enough to deny ourselves.
That's the thing.
For me, my why is my wife and my kids. And so luckily for me, because I live with them, I get to see my why every day. I get to look my why in the eye. I get to play with my why. I get to take my why to school. Hello? So when I finish, there's no more motivation. There's no reason why I won't be able to say, listen, all right, maybe I can't go to Dubai this year. I'm going to go on a local team. All right? There's no reason why I can't say, actually, I'm not going to get that new pair of trainers. I'm going to manage the ones that I've got. Actually, I've got about 5 different white shirts. Do I need another white shirt? Do you understand? When your why is big enough, it becomes easier. It's not easy, but it becomes easier to deny yourself that instant gratification.
100%.
And then from there, it's about setting goals. Like I said, you got to set yourself some goals. Okay, so what are you trying to achieve? What's important to you? And don't just say, listen, I love property, yeah, but don't just say property because you want to have a house. Because properties, the reason a lot of people love property is vanity. All right, property is a vanity asset. All right, you can take pictures of your property. You can't take pictures of your share certificates. You understand? You can't take pictures of your business when you're first starting. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time, the reason we like property is because it's look what I did. Do you know what I mean? And so it's a vanity thing. And so you really got to understand what vehicle. Now that I want to make my money a tool, what vehicle do I want to use in order to do that? And so for me, I always have the three: business, investing in stocks and shares, and property. These are the three things for me when you want to build wealth. Now, you can use different wrappers, whether an ISA, whether a pension, to do the investment side of things. Business, you can either do 9 to 5 or a lease. And when it comes to property, like I said, you can still. I got a lot of my clients buy their first house and move back in with their parents and rent that out. Do you know what I mean? And so it's about understanding how you can use it as a tool. My people perish. Why? Because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah, 100%. Very, very, very good. Guys, if you have any questions for Emmanuel, put them into the question box or submit them in the question section below. So I'm just going to have some more water too. Cheers. So in terms of your journey so far, what would you say have been the biggest challenges for you, would you say, this year? Obviously, it's been an amazing year in terms of business, but then equally, have there been any kind of financial challenges that you've had? The reason why I ask this is because obviously people will see you and see your success and just think, oh yeah, Eman's made it, but then they don't realize that there's always more to the story, there's always more behind the journey kind of thing. It's not all, it's not always that easy to get there, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. I think my challenges haven't been financial. I think like they haven't been financial, but they have been in regards to, you know, spending time with my wife and my kids and really finding balance. You see, before this lockdown, and I thank God for the lockdown again, because it gave me a chance to spend time, like actual time with my kids and getting to know them, like on a one-to-one. Because I see them in the morning, I might take them to school, but then I'm in the office in Canary Wharf all day. By the time I come back, like I said, I'm a hustler. By the time I come back, I might take time just for bedtime, give them a bedtime story, put them to bed. And really, you know, it wasn't fair on them and it wasn't fair on my wife either. Like the balance, like I was so on this hustle. And sometimes when you're on a grind, when you wanna achieve something, and like I said, my biggest competition is myself. So I'm so competing with myself, I'm forgetting my why. I'm forgetting my why. I'm forgetting that my why is my wife and my kids, yet they are getting the least amount of my time because all I'm trying to do is out-better myself. And so I had to realize that actually, Eman, you can still enjoy your life on a lesser income. And this was a madness for me. I had to actually say to myself, actually, Eman, you need to make less. Because, and this is what your first question was, time or money. I actually had to understand that I had to pick time over money. And so I had to reduce the number of days that I was doing appointments. I had to reduce how much calls I was taking. I had to reduce how many events I was doing. I had to reduce how much talks I was doing. And the lockdown forced me to do that. And so I now could reevaluate and say, forget the money side of things. I now get this time. And this time is precious because they're only this age once. Do you know what I mean? And so now going back, I'm like, I'm only going to do 3 days a week in the office when I go back to the office.
Right.
And I thank God that I have a business that I can do that. And I tell people, like, that's why I had to get out of like employment, because employment, when you're black and you're employed and you're high up, you naturally feel that you have to work these extra hours. You naturally feel that you have to be over prepared for the next day. You naturally feel that if you don't do certain things, they're gonna judge you. But listen, even if you do all those things, when redundancy comes, 9 times out of 10, you're still gonna be the first one to take it. And I had to understand that and say, listen, I had to build something for myself. But now I've built it, actually I need to earn less to give myself more time with the ones that I love.
That's actually amazing. That's such a powerful lesson there, because a lot of the time we say that our priorities and our why are the most important thing to us, but then we think that by working more, I'm doing this for them, so then it makes it okay. But I like the way you've done what you've said. It's like, no, actually, when you actually deep it, time is the most important thing, and the kids are gonna what they're going to remember is the time that you spent with them. They're not going to remember all the things that you bought for them, all the nice things that you bought. They're going to remember, oh, daddy read to me, daddy put me to bed, daddy put me to school. So I think that's amazing that you've made that decision to do that. It's really, really, really powerful. A couple of questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Wow, good question. So for me, I don't like to say things because, you know, people think you're boasting or you're trying to stunt on them or whatever, and people will try to keep checks. But for me, I definitely see myself, you know, doing not too much. Like, I don't see myself doing this. Like, in 5 years' time, I feel like I want to be a lot more relaxed. I'm training up people now to take over. I don't see myself doing the day-to-day. Like, I see myself hopefully having my own show. You know, getting to that point where I have my own show, if not even my own channel. Do you know what I mean? And really trying to push. I want to have mini me's. I want to create. I want to replicate myself. I want young people to go to universities and come out and say, I want to work for Eman. I want to work for that company. I know that company is going to push me and drive me, and I want to be able to employ people and be able to employ people not just in finance, but have a HR department, have an accounting department, have a marketing department, and I want to be able to have that and really employ my people and people that will aspire and say, you know what, when I grow up, I want to work there. That's what I'm trying to build. That's the empire I'm trying to build. I hope that in 5 years' time, if I'm not there yet, that's what I'm on the way to.
You definitely will be, because that's what happens. The more you serve, the bigger you grow, kind of thing. Yeah. So the more you keep serving, the more you're helping people, bringing people on board, you're just going to see it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's amazing.
Thank you. Okay,
next question. What would you advise when lockdown is over?
Good question. What would I advise when lockdown is over? I would advise, number one, not to wait till lockdown is over, to start now, and understand, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? I always talk about a reverse engineer. So for me, I know where I'm trying to get to, and then I build it back. So if I know that I want to buy this property and I know I need 30 grand deposit. Now I tell myself, okay, 30 grand deposit, what do I need to do each day, or what do I need to get in a month to get that? How long am I prepared to wait? And this is where we talk about delayed gratification. We can both buy the same house, yeah. We can both get the same 30K, but depending on how much you are prepared to delay will be how quick you will get to your goal. And for me, I don't like long things. I'm not on a 3-5 year. I can't fathom. I can't do it. If I put my mind to something, I want it as quick as possible, because I understand that the only thing stopping me getting it is me. And so I have to understand, what am I prepared to sacrifice? What am I prepared to do? Well, if this is my goal and this is what I want to achieve, then I'm ready to sacrifice it all. Do you understand? As long as my wife signs the permission slip. Do you know what I mean? And for me, and we joke, but on a real, I don't do nothing unless my wife signs it. But once she signs it, I don't care what nobody else has to say. Do you understand? Amazing. So for me, as long as she's co-signed it, I don't care if no one don't like it. I don't care if people think listen, she signed it. She's my eyes. Do you understand? If she signed it, we good.
Come on.
We good. Do you understand? Because she prays a lot more than me. You know, her connection to God is wild. So if she signed something, I know that, you know, God has co-signed it. So for me, and that's my mentality. So for me, what do you do when you come out of lockdown is you work even harder to what you're trying to get to. And you tell yourself, you have a real conversation with yourself and ask yourself, do I really want it? Do you really want it? Too many times we're talking about goals, we're talking about what we want to achieve, but do we really want it? And more time, I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be no. You don't really want it. You think you want it. Your mind tells you want it. When you close your eyes, you sleep, you dream about it, but you don't really want it. Because if you really wanted it, you would be prepared to do what it takes to get it. But the thought of doing what it takes to get it makes you feel like
that's long.
That's long. And so because that's long, you don't really want it. Do you know what I mean? So now, what you have to do is go change your goals. Go make them realistic. Go make them to something that you actually do want. Something that you're actually prepared in a time frame that works for you. Don't feel that you have to be like me and do it in 18 months or 2 years. Don't feel like you don't have to be like me. You can do a 5-year or a 10-year and enjoy life. You can do the Dubais and the drinks and the nice cars and the restaurants and all that. You can do all that and take 10 years to get there. I'm just not that guy, because I understand compounding. I understand finance. I understand how money works, and I understand that 10 years with inflation, I've finished. I've messed myself up. You understand? And so for me, because I understand that, I try to do my thing shorter. But that's because that's how my mind works. Don't ever feel pressured. Your only competition is yourself.
That's very good advice. I've just seen a question pop up here. I'll do that one and then go to the other ones. Did you ever have any mind, money or success blocks? Okay. If so, how did you move past them? It's a good question.
Mind, money or success blocks? I don't know. If, you know what? My mindset is that I just don't think of them like that. So maybe I did. Maybe if I told the story, you'd tell me that I did. But my wife hates it because we've been through some hard times. And I'm still waking up smiling and happy and like, look, let's go do, like, man's had some of the worst experiences in life, do you know what I mean? Push me. And I'm still smiling because I've got today. I've woke up today and I'm going to make today. Forget yesterday. I'm going to make today. She's like, no, babe, I want to think about yesterday because it's affecting us today. But for me, I don't live in today. I'm in the future. I know that the things I'm going to do today, where it's going to get me to. So I can't dwell in where I'm at just because I don't have what I want. I understand that there's a process. And if I put in today, I will get out tomorrow. But if I spend my time thinking about all the stuff that I didn't get when I put in and I deserve. Listen, in life, there are so many things that we deserve. There are so many things that we should get, but we don't. We can't dwell on them. We can't dwell on them. You got to understand that each day you wake up with an opportunity to create and change your destiny. You have an opportunity to change whatever anybody ever destined for you or thought about you. You have an opportunity to change it. Go change it.
100%. Very good advice. Next question is stocks or property? Or both?
I'm a stocks man. I'm a stocks man. But I'm liking where property is at the moment. Okay, so because I like where property is right now, if somebody was to ask me right now, I would say property. But my history has always been stocks because as a financial advisor, I've always done stocks. I've always had to help clients with funds and investments and so forth. So that's my history, that's my background. And I'm very much about, investing in what you know. And so because I've known that, that's what I've always done and always appreciated. But right now, the way property is, I'm definitely taking advantage.
Okay, the next question is, would you advise buying at auction?
Not me. Not because of Homes Under the Hammer.
That program could have you gas, seriously.
That program will get people gas and
get in trouble.
I've seen somebody go there. They didn't realize that you had to put a percentage of down at the auction on the day. They didn't have it. I had other people go to auction, put their hand up, and then go. They have to get a mortgage. Listen, you can't get a mortgage complete in the time. You need to get a bridge. But some people don't know that.
They don't know.
People get bridges and be stuck on bridges and it's expensive money, a bridge. It's the most expensive money. I don't recommend it. Listen, I know that Dion Dublin, he looks sweet. He's telling you the thing. He's making it look easy. But I'm telling you, if people are honest in property, they will tell you that more time they have the worst experiences, but they come through it. And over the longer term, it's good. But at any given year, ask anyone in property, they'll tell you, everything can be taken. It can be a terrible time. It can be, if you get that one bad tenant, like I've got friends who don't do property anymore because they've had one bad tenant. And it was that 18 months was the worst period of their life. And they just said, I'm just going to do my 1 or 2 house and I'm done. Do you know what I mean? So
I can imagine, especially now where you can't even evict people.
You can't even evict them. The government, you go kick them out with your man. The government will put them back in and then you go to jail.
Madness. It's actually mad. Okay, so there's land or houses. Somebody asked.
Good question. I would want to say land. Like my mind says, look, the potential is land, but I haven't got the energy to deal with building something from scratch. Like it's bad enough to trying to do an extension. Do you know what I mean? let alone trying to build
No,
a
it's
thing.
true.
Do you
Oh my
understand?
gosh, yeah.
Like these builders are scrupulous. Like
Listen.
they are terrible. Like they will just start and then duck out, and you just got cement and
I've had my horror stories, yeah.
all around you. So for me, like I feel like I know my limitations, I know my time, and I know my energy. So I feel like if your energy is property and your energy is building from scratch, then go. But for me, if you're gonna go land, for me that has to be Africa, Caribbean. I'm not. That has to be like here is houses to get the income, so you can buy land and live somewhere else where you're accepted.
Nice. Okay, so the next one is, how did you balance time with business and family? Like, okay, wait. Like you work in Canary Wharf before lockdown. I work until late, but lockdown allowed me to spend more time with family. Now I don't know how I can get back to going back to work. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It all depends on how flexible you can be with your schedule. So with me, I've had the conversation with my wife. Number one, like I love Canary Wharf. Like I love it. Like, and sometimes you have to know who you are. Like I'm an ego person. Like it's not good, but I like put my suit on. I like go Canary Wharf. I like to meet my people, and especially like where we're in One Canada Square, so the actual Canary Wharf building, and there's there's bare of us. You wouldn't even imagine how much ethnics are in Canary Wharf. Like there's bare of us. So we used to just motivate one another, and you just be encouraged. And I used to love it. I used to love that feeling, and it would make me work harder because I'm coming in and I'm seeing people that look like me, and they're working hard. We're sharing stories, we're motivating each other. I can't get that in my living room. Do you understand this? That I got knocks on the door, daddy. Like it's not the same feeling.
Yeah.
So there is that part of me that wants to go and go back to the Wolf and enjoy, but at the same time, it's about the balance. And so if you can structure it, like for me, my plan is that I'm not going to go back to the Wolf straight away. So even in the new year, I'm probably going to, because my youngest daughter will be going to nursery, so it will only be me and my wife at home. So obviously, number one, there's going to be more enjoyment. If you know enjoyment, you know what I'm talking about. Number two, it's going to be a fact that it's just the two of us. So I can still work. It won't be as noisy and I'll be able to concentrate. So for me, it's about balancing that. And then maybe towards the end of the year, I will go back and maybe go 1 or 2 days, maximum 3, and pick those days. Okay. But I don't know if I can sacrifice the enjoyment in order to go to the I've got 4 kids, so when I'm saying enjoyment,
you've been enjoying well, yeah.
The people know what I'm talking about.
You've been enjoying well. Okay, the next question is, earlier you spoke on self-belief. How did you build that? That's funny because that's what I was actually going to ask you about. Yeah, how, like practically, how would, because from what you're saying, it just sounds like it was in you, but for some people, it's not naturally in you. So how can you get it?
I think for me, it's about the self-belief comes from the fact that nobody believed apart from my mum. Like no one really believed. My mum always believed in me, obviously my sisters, but like my pops never really believed in me. And so it's so important the people you have around you. My mum spoke excellence into me. Always. I'm talking, I had the worst GCSEs ever, and my mum was still like, no, you're gonna be a doctor. How?
Oh, doctor!
A doctor or lawyer, because I could talk. Because my mum, I was so good at talking that sometimes I could talk myself out of beats. Like
yeah.
I could negotiate and just make her laugh, and she'd be like, "You this lawyer, pocket lawyer." Like she used to always like blind me because I could just make her laugh and talk, and she always spoke life into me. She always encouraged me and told me that I'm great and I'm gonna be great, and she told me, Emmanuel, this is one of the, it's an African thing, but I took it in a positive way. She was like, Emmanuel, you're my pension. And so when your mum tells you at 13, 14, you're her pension, there was no Google. I couldn't Google what pension was,
Yeah, but you knew.
I'm about to tell her what is that? And so when she's broken it down to me, I'm like, okay, cool. You're relying on me. So it doesn't matter if I go to this school and this school says you're not that smart. It doesn't matter. I'm still my mum's pension. So I've still got to go and deliver. If I go to this, if I go to this job and they don't, I've got to succeed because I've got my mum who's always believed in me and given me everything she could, waiting for me to help her retire. And so that helped me get confidence in myself that I must win. I must win. And then it was about adding value. Okay, and this is something that I always talk about, but I think people take it lightly. When you know, like, see, like now I'm talking. The reason I can talk with this confidence is because I spend hours learning. I spend hours practicing. Like we talked about the questions not coming over this.
Yeah.
Like, man, don't need. It doesn't matter what you're gonna ask me because I watch lives. I live what I do. I don't. This is not a job. This is my life. I love doing what I do. Personal finance, helping people to build wealth and build money. I've been doing it since it's my first and only career. I've been in financial services since the beginning of my career. So for me, this is what I live and I love. And so I add so much value to myself. I know that whoever I meet, I'm going to be able to add value to them. When you know that you can help somebody, no matter without them asking or not, you know you can make a difference in someone's life. What confidence would you walk around with? What self-belief would you have? Sometimes we doubt ourselves because we haven't practiced. We doubt ourselves because we haven't added the things inside of ourselves in order to give us the confidence when it's time to come out. You see, you could give me a mic today and I could go and rip a stage because I've practiced and I've added so much knowledge and I've done it so many times over and over and over again that I know I can win. I know I can do it. So therefore, I have to walk in the confidence of that knowledge.
Man, mic drop right there. Yeah, no, yeah. Add the value to yourself. If nothing else, that's something we should definitely take away from this live. What role does your wife play in the mindset maintenance and family and your family goal setting?
Yeah, my wife plays the biggest part. Like,
very good question.
We're a team, so like a lot of the time I'll be like, yeah, we. When I talk about my company, I'll be like, we, and people will be like, oh, who's you? Like, it's been me and my wife from the day dot. Like, it's always we. Like, there's nothing that I do without her. And so, like, for example, my diary, my wife manages my diary. So if she feels that I'm too busy, she'll block out days. Do you know what I mean? If there are and if there are kids things that happen, she'll put them into the diary to make sure I don't miss them. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to my wife, she plays a huge part. If my wife tells me, we've had deals come on, like we've had contracts and offers to do stuff, and my wife has said no. I said, unfortunately, I can't do it. Do you understand? We're a team. I know that my wife has my best interests at heart because we're a team. So if she tells me no, I know there must be something, there must be a reason. And so no planning. As much as I've got goals, my goals have to become our goals. And that's a big problem. I do a lot. I sit down with a lot of couples, and one of the biggest problems we have is that they have individual goals and they are focused on them. And so for me, we have to sit down and understand that you have a goal, you have goals, I have goals. All right. My wife's goal is not to be my backup dancer. My wife's goal, she has her own goals, and sometimes I have to be the backup dancer. It don't matter how famous I get, how big I get. There are times that I need to hold my wife's bag and let her go do the damn thing. Do you know what I mean? Because we are a team, and she has her own goals and her own dreams and the things that she likes. And sometimes no matter how famous I am or how big I am, I've got to take a step back and let her have her shine and have her moment. Do you understand? And sometimes I hold my wife's bag, people are looking at me like I'm weird. I'm saying it's my wife's bag. If it's my wife's bag, it's my bag. I can hold it. I'm a big man. I can hold a purse. I don't care. Like, that's for my wife. She has to have her moment. There are some times when I have to do daddy daycare. My wife has to go out, you know.
Yes.
Without me.
Come on.
Do you understand?
Come on.
And I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it because these kids are unruly. Do you know what I mean? So when I do daddy daycare, she knows that when she come back, the house is gonna be a mess. But at least you had fun. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? More time, I just shut the living room door and I say, listen, we're in this living room. Nobody's going out. Watch what you want to watch. We're in here. Because before you know, this one's gone to the toilet and pulled the toilet roll. This one's gone to pour cereal all over the...
Tear the whole house up, yeah?
So we will sit here. You will eat crisps. You will eat all the things that their mum will not give them. When she goes out, everything. Daddy, can I have? Listen, take. Until your mum comes back. Take it. Take it, take it, take it. But I have to understand, sometimes I've got to be a backup dancer. Sometimes I've got to be a support. And it'll be wrong for me to only live my goals and my dreams and say, oh, but, you know, I pay the bills. Or, listen, she had a life before me. She had goals before me. She had a dream before me. And if I'm a man and I'm a husband, I'm gonna make sure those dreams come true. And if I don't, then I haven't reached my goals. And for a lot of people, this is where they fail, because two become one, but too many times two is still two. And so if I've got goals and my wife's got goals, if she's not reaching her goals, I'm not reaching my goals. It doesn't matter how successful I am in my lane, because it's our lane. And so,
come on, wow,
it's you can't separate me and my wife and what we do. It's one, and that don't mean that is perfect. We don't mean we don't argue, but I tell her, listen, we can argue and you can be angry, but you're gonna have to forgive me because it's only the two of us here. Do you understand?
Come on.
We are going nowhere. Where are you going? You got 4 youths. Where are you going, Mikey? You're not going nowhere. You can bang a door. You can bang a door. You can get angry. You understand? You can blank me. Sometimes she'll go upstairs. I'll phone her from downstairs. Hello, I'm still here. When you're ready, I'm here. You understand? We're not going anywhere. This is us. So
love it.
We have to have that mentality. And so I get passionate about my wife because I know that she sacrifices a lot to make sure this thing works. And so I'm really conscious of the fact that I have to invest in her. I have to lift her up. I have to push her because, you know, she's done so much. I have to make sure that she gets to where she's going.
Absolutely amazing. I didn't know we were going to be getting marriage counselling as well as money advice for that. Listen, all the husbands on the live and the potential husbands, I hope you guys are taking note. Like, literally, this is it. You've got to write for your wife, man. Amazing, absolutely amazing. We got another question here. Top 3. Oh, this is a good one. We moved from money into marriage, but what are the top 3 qualities one should look for in a spouse?
Oh, you know what? I always think about this. Like, I think if we're being honest, if we're being honest, like, I know people talk about personality or looks. Like, looks are important. Don't get me wrong. Like, you need to be attracted to your spouse. But for me, like, the things I look for my wife was, number 1, personality, because I got to be around you, and I got to look at personality. So I can't be next to some dead fish or someone that is just dry. You can't be dry around me. Do you know what I mean? So I need some banter. I need to, like, trust me and my wife, like, I cuss her all the time. We have mad, like, because I'm from the hood, like, we just cuss you for no reason and just start trouble. So if she's one of them people like, oh, babe, like, it's not going to work. Like, you got to have personality. You got to have banter. Do you understand? She's from a real culture. She understands. She's from Nigeria. She understands problems. So she's surrounded by a problem who is me. And so, you know, we have the banter. So to me, that was really important to have that connection and really have that whole best friend thing. But then also for me was hard work. My wife, this woman, she's such a hard worker. In fact, she's such a hard worker. Sometimes I have to now tell her to stop. This is what I literally, sometimes I tell her to stop. I said, listen, it's too much. Sometimes I'll go to Canary Wolf. She's in the kitchen making cake. I'll come home. She's in the kitchen. I said, listen, you have to stop. You have to reduce your orders. You understand? You have to pick a number and say, look, this is the maximum number of cake you can do. She's like, babe, what about the money? I said, don't worry. I will go and make the money. Then I had to go and hustle. I had to go and up my level to make sure that the house can balance because she was doing too much. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, look, this is my haircut. My wife learned how to do haircut in quarantine. I haven't been to barber since. That's the type of life. The light break. My wife will go on YouTube, look at how to fix light, she fixed the drain in the kitchen, in the sink.
Oh wow.
She's a hard worker. So for me, is that, and then also my wife, for me, like, the respect level is high. And because I'm so cultured, like, I needed someone that understands, you know, the level of respect that you need to show to your partner. And I know obviously a lot of us have grown up here. And so, you know, sometimes it can get lost in, but my wife, she respects, man. Do you know what I mean? Even if I say something that she don't like, the way she will respond to me, it's so like, she respects man's thing. Do you know what I mean? She respects that I didn't do it on purpose or I wasn't trying to. Do you understand? And that respect level, I think, for, like, when I see some other, like, the respect is kind of lowered. Do you know what I mean? But for me, that respect thing is important. Like, we got to respect one another. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, there has to be a way that we communicate. There has to be a way that we understand one another, and we have to understand that whatever happens, there's always love. It's always love. Even in an argument, I still love you. Do you know what I mean? And so because of that, there's a level of respect that we must always show to one another, whether outside or at home. And for me, those are the three main things.
Absolutely amazing. Your wife sounds like an incredible woman. I'm seeing all the comments in the comment section. People are saying how amazing your wife is. She's your secret weapon. She's definitely a secret weapon. Behind every successful man, they say it's a successful woman. So definitely. The next question is, who are your mentors and role models?
Yeah, man. I think it's difficult. Like I've got quite a few, and there are different people that really I look up to, and so one of my accountant, David, he's my accountant, and he's always been onto me. Like as my accountant, he's always shown me so much love and guidance, and he's a big man, but he's always taken time for me and pushed me, and always tried to build me up. Then I always talk about Bianca Miller, Cole. I always spoke to Cole because I always knew her as Bianca Miller. But Bianca's someone that I've always looked up to. Yeah, always. Before I even met her, she's always been someone that I've looked up to. And sometimes it's hard to put someone on a pedestal because when you meet them, they're bound to flop. Like she's even more amazing than in person. And do you know what I mean? And then even like Anna, I always talk about like Anna Williamson, who was on the show with.
Yeah.
So she was pregnant on the show. She was Anna. Like Anna is she's one of the nicest people in the world, and she just shows me every day like how I think for sometimes we're looking for someone to mentor us and say, "Are you my mentor?" For me, a lot of people that mentor me don't even know they're my mentor.
Don't even know, yeah.
They don't even know, but I see qualities in them, and I say, "Look, I want to try and learn that." And so I'll WhatsApp them or I'll text them or I'll give them a call and just ask questions in order to understand what's your mindset. How do you think like that? How have you come to that conclusion? How do you still stay level grounded? Like, and Anna is one of the most amazing women I've ever met in life. And you'll find for me, most of my, if you consider mentors, most of them are women. I take most of my knowledge and experience from women because I found that, them ego plays a lot of a part in stuff. And so with women, I feel like, they're so balanced to be able to be the smartest person in the room, but still be able to be humble enough to stay quiet and only speak when you know that that level of mentality. God, please, I always pray, God give me the mentality of a woman to know that she is. I always used to see my mum and know that my mum runs my house, but she still allows my dad to call himself the head of the household. Do you understand? Yeah. And I said, God, please give me that. Give me that wisdom. Give me that mentality. Give me that understanding that I can know myself enough to allow somebody else to take shine. And when you do that, you see that it goes so far. It goes so far. The reach is so far. And so for me, a lot of my inspiration comes from women. And so I look around and I see amazing women doing amazing things. And like I talk about Remy Ray, who's one of my favorite people on this planet. And me and Remy, we go for breakfasts. And Remy used to tell me, Eman, you don't charge enough. You don't do this. She used to cuss me. Bosse. Like Bosse is someone who, again, you helped me with my business and really helped and supported me. Then if you look at my team, I got Lynette, Sherelle, Tommy. These are 3 women that came to a seminar, saw how good my seminar was, and said, I'm going to work with you for free.
Wow.
I so love what you're doing. I'm going to work with you for free. And so they became my management team before we do anything. So when you see me, you don't understand how many people are in the background that help me to create and hold me up. I see my sisters have always been women that have always pushed me and supported me. My mum, do you know what I mean? So for me, I take inspiration from the women around me. And that's why for me, I always try and boost and try and support women as much as I can, because I'm not the man I am today without the women in my life.
Amazing. And echoing what you were saying about the mentors that were mentoring you that didn't know, loads of people in the comments are saying the same thing. So you've got Kofi saying, Emmanuel, you are tight with lots of black women make better mentors. You are about to be my personal mentor and you don't even know it. I don't think Eman knows he's my mentor. Yeah, definitely. He definitely inspired me a lot on my journey. Like even T Money Talks, this live series, you're definitely one of the inspirations for me doing it. I was watching your Wealth Talks for so long and I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to do that.
Come
and
on.
Look, fast forward, here we are today on episode number 12. No, you definitely are a true inspiration. Guys, do you have any more questions for Emmanuel? Oh, did I miss one? Oh yes, I did miss one. Sorry. One more question, and then if you guys haven't got any more, I'll let Emmanuel get back to his wife and kids.
Come on. My enjoyment.
Do you know what I mean? Time for enjoyment, especially after all of that bigging up that you've done this
Come
evening.
on,
Listen,
all the talk that I've done now. Do you not know? This baby's going to bed.
you put in the work, man.
Come
You
on.
put in the work.
I'm gonna do 2K tonight. Come on.
How did you improve your presentation skills? Presenting to big audiences. Yes, please. I'll take notes on that.
You know what? I always tell people, that when it comes to the presentation, people don't know, but a lot of people don't know that I actually had kind of like a stammer, and also my tongue. The reason I have a gap in my teeth is that my tongue is too big for my mouth, so it actually pushes my teeth forward, and so because of that, I used to also slur certain words, and so I used to not even want to talk too much because people would take them. Obviously, when you go to school, people are going to mock you for these type of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And so it became practice. So what I did, and I'm not saying anyone has to do, what I did is I enrolled into drama class at my church. And so at drama class, I used to act. I used to practice. I used to and we used to do like, I forget what you call it, like off the cuff. So someone would just say a scenario, and then you just have to be a character, and then you just have to become it. And this is not to an audience. This is just us at drama class. And so when I now started to do that more, we then had a play where I had to play a CEO, and so I had to study and practice and practice the words of a CEO, and I played the CEO. And then once I acted out as a CEO, I thought, you know what? Next time I go to an interview, this is the character I'm going to be when I go to the interview.
Wow.
And so I started going to interview in character, not as myself, because as myself, I was nervous of, I would slur, would I say something? But I went as my character. And when I went into character, I was so confident that I told you for about 10 years, I went to job interview. I got offered every single job I went to an interview for.
Wow.
Which meant my CV was patchy because I was changing jobs so much. But I took on a character, and sometimes we have to take ourselves out of our comfort zone and acknowledge that we want change. And so for me, I wanted to change. I had it inside of me, but I wasn't allowing myself to do it out. And in drama class, I would make mistakes. I hated reading, but I had to learn scripts. And you had to learn it off the top of your head because you're going to perform it. So I had to look in the mirror. I had to record myself and play it over and over and over again. The reason sometimes we are nervous is because we are unprepared. And even when we are prepared, the reason I say we're still unprepared is because you understand your note, you practice them, but you haven't said them enough. So I used to make my mum pretend to be my client because I knew when I'm going to see a big millionaire client, I'll get my mum. I say, Mum, you're a millionaire. You got 2 million in your account. You're gonna be my client today. And I would fact find. I would practice on my mum. I get my sisters. I get my dad. I get my wife to practice, so that when I'm now in this meeting, or when I'm now on stage, or when I've already done it. So why would I be nervous about something I've already done? This is Groundhog Day. Has anyone seen the film Groundhog Day? Like when man wakes up and he's doing the same thing. So if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I don't need to think about it. So why would I now be? Where would the nerves come from? Why would I be nervous? But I got to go out there. I told you the first time I did a talk. I talked about it 3 years ago when I did my first event. I was nervous. Asked my wife. The first 5 minutes I was talking. I was like, so today we're going to. I couldn't get it out. I'm thinking there's only 9 people in the room. I'm so nervous because it means so much. Put me on a stage today, 1,000 people. See if I rock that crowd. Do you understand? And so it comes from muscle memory. It's practice. I'm doing this all day, every day. I'm doing it with my kids. I make my kids be my audience. If they don't laugh, they're like, Daddy, you're not funny. I mean, no, you don't get the joke. I have to explain the joke to them. So it's like I'm practicing all the time, every single day. These lives are me practicing. I'm practicing right now.
Amazing. So I'm just going through, I think there was a couple of questions, but so many comments have come through, so I've missed the question. Put in the question box, please, because yeah, I can't scroll back all the way through them. Oh, always lost me. Hold on. Okay. So we've got advice on how to be mortgage free.
Yes. Good question. Advice on how to be mortgage free. You should ask Tony that, because you're trying to be mortgage free. I'm not a mortgage free type of person. I'm a leverage person. So I like to leverage, and I don't want us to be mortgage free until we're way into retirement and we've already got other properties providing us income. So for me, at our age, I don't like the whole mortgage free thing. For older, if you want to get mortgage free, to me, you got to have an income above the amount that your mortgage payment is and make overpayments. Because if you understand how mortgages work, the payment itself, most of it goes towards the interest and a little bit goes to the capital. But if you make an overpayment, that goes to the capital. The majority goes to the capital and a little goes to the interest. So if you want to be mortgage free, you've got to say, how long is it going to take? How long have I got? I've got 25 years. This is my monthly payment if I pay it for 25 years. How quick do I want to pay it? And then how much do I need to do it if I want to do it in that years? So I might say my mortgage payment's £1,000, but I've done the calculation, and if I pay 1,500, instead of doing 25 years, I do it in 15 years. So that's how you would work out how to become mortgage free, is to work out what your principal is, and then how much more do you want to put on for the number of years that it takes.
100%. Yeah, that's literally a process in which we're following at the moment to try and pay off our house as quick as possible. I know it's a controversial one. So it's either team pay it off early or team leverage and not pay it off. But yeah, for us, it's definitely a big priority because we want that financial security.
No, it's big. It's big.
No, oh my gosh, Emmanuel, I think I've answered all the questions, guys. And if you have any more questions, then you're going to have to maybe send Emmanuel a message, because I've taken up more than an hour of your time. But it's been amazing. I can literally go on for another hour, because the gems and the knowledge that you've dropped in this life, I need to go back and even listen to it again so I can take notes, because it was just too much. Like, so good.
Thank you.
So do you have any final words for the people? Any words of encouragement? Any kind of words of advice? As you know, we're closing 2020. We've got a few more weeks, actually quite a few more weeks left. But yeah, any advice for the people before you go?
Yeah, I think the only advice I want people to understand is, every time you spend your money, you're investing. All right? And so understand that you work hard for your money, however you make it, you work hard for it. And so be careful how you're investing it. Understand that, am I going to get a return on this investment? So if I'm choosing to spend my money in Waitrose instead of going to Lidl's, that difference, I'm investing in Waitrose, what am I getting out of it? Or is it all gone tomorrow in the toilet? Or is it all for vanity? And so for me, it's about understanding every time you spend money, you're investing. And what I want you to do is to get ownership. I want you to have ownership. And the reason I want you to have ownership, because it's so powerful. You see, today I got this platform on Instagram, and I talk. You see how I talk. You know how I am. But if I was working for a certain company, they would tell me a lot of my lives I couldn't say, or a lot of the videos I do, they'll tell me take it down because it doesn't represent their brand. But guess what? I got ownership.
Jeez, come on.
I own my thing. No, you man don't pay me, so you don't get to say what I do on my platform. And for a lot of us, we come from a place where our parents or our forefathers haven't had the ability to have ownership. And so the reason I get so upset, and the reason I do these videos and it feels like I'm atting you and I'm triggering you, is because I want you to understand that you have the privilege of ownership. You can get ownership. You can grasp it, whether it be through financial freedom, through a business, whether it be through property, whether it be through shares. I want you to have the ownership to own your everyday. Okay? I want you to, and you can still work for someone and do that. Don't get me wrong. You can still be employed and still be able to live the life that you want to live and do other things with the money that you're making. I'm not saying you must be self-employed, but I want you to have a mindset of ownership. And not just ownership in regards to property, but ownership of your day, ownership of you. Because where we're coming from, our parents, our forefathers, they didn't get the chance to have ownership. They were owned. But today we have the chance not only to own, but to own something that we can pass on to our children, our children's children, and our children's children. And so for me, that's what I want for you. And I hope that you want it for yourself. And if you do, then make the changes needed in order to have ownership and real freedom. Because that's what I got. We're in a recession, and I'm calm. Like, I'm relaxed.
Come on.
I'm here feeding my family. I'm here making decisions on going on property viewings. I'm here. But 3 years ago, I wasn't. I had to go on a journey. I had to live. Bruv, I went from a company car, money, bonuses to living on a 2 grand a month, trying to make it work just to build my business, and any extra I had putting into this business. And now today I have ownership. And today I can sit comfortable in a recession and know that my family are fed for months in advance. That's financial freedom to me. And that's what I'm fighting for. That's not a number of houses. That's not £1 million in the bank. That's not a share portfolio. That's just freedom.
Come on.
And that's what I want people to fight for. And that's why I will continue to do these videos, and I will continue to be at everybody's neck until I see my people getting ownership. Amen.
Every head bowed, every eye closed. Oh my days, what a word, what a message. No, that was, yeah, phenomenal. We had one more question, but I don't even know if I want to answer it, because I think that's just literally a perfect end to the live. Like, yeah, literally, guys. I hope you guys, well, I told you guys anyway, did I not say it, that Emmanuel was going to come on and kill it? Like, oh, gems upon gems upon gems. Like, you're actually just doing an amazing job. What you're doing for the community is just so inspiring. It's so amazing. The fact that, you know what I mean, you built such an amazing platform for yourself, but you're still taking time to give back to the people, always speaking to the people, always sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom, inspiring so many of us to make changes. And it's amazing. You're doing so good, Emmanuel, and just keep up doing amazing work. Keep inspiring, keep helping, keep educating and empowering people with your word. Like,
no, but you too, man. Seriously, you don't understand how important it is to see you and what you're doing, because, you know, I'm lucky. I meet amazing black women every single day, but there are so many women who are stuck and looking for examples, and you are a perfect example of a wonderful wife, but also a mother, as well as a powerful businesswoman. And what you do and how you share your knowledge, and you're so open, is so important, because it gives other people the confidence. Representation matters. And I just pray for more blessings on you, and as you share and you give, like, God continues to give to you, man, because what you do and what you represent is so important. And I'm just privileged that when you invited me, I was like, of course I'm going to come on, because I want to build you. I want to build your platform. I want to do for you what you're doing for others. So I appreciate
thank you. I'm gonna cry. Thank you, Emmanuel. It was absolutely amazing. Amazing live, amazing conversation. I really enjoyed this live. And I can see the guys, like, the love has just been incredible. Like, yeah. Definitely going to save it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this series. Like I said, this is the last one of the series, so I'm going to hopefully come back in the new year with more amazing guests. But that's it, me signing out for episode number 12 of Tea Money Talks. And yeah, you can catch the replay on my IGTV. Thank you once again, Emmanuel, for being such an amazing guest. I will definitely catch up soon.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.